address may be St. Peter's Hall.
Sorry?
There we go.
St. Peter's Hall before the payment schedules. And
Yes, we're going to do that exact same, yeah. Okay. Right. Welcome, councillors, to the meeting of the Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Finance Committee on Wednesday, the 15th of April. We are quorate, and let's go through this. First of all, have we got any apologies for absence received?
We have apologies from Councillor Carter, who has a personal commitment, and Councillor Marie, who has a work commitment.
Thank you. The next item, are there any declarations of interest of disclosable pecuniary interest from members in respect to the business we transacted on the agenda?
No.
Okay. The next item then is the minutes of the Finance Committee held on Wednesday, the 11th of March. Are there any questions, issues that are arising from that, etc.?
I'm just a little bit confused about on the investment drawdown. It was moved that Councillor Breen will contact the RFO for more details prior to the Quilter Cheviot meeting. I don't recollect what that was about, and I haven't done anything on that. And we've had the Quilter Cheviot meeting.
We have, and there's of course a request later on to sort out this drawdown from the finance of the RFO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, so if we can amend the minute then, please, if that was incorrect.
So, Councillor Black, you did send out requests for questions, didn't you? So, shall I just take out that first line?
First line off.
This it was moved that Councillor Breen will contact the RFO. Do you want me to
For
strike that?
more details, if you strike that, so it would read prior to the Quilter Cheviot meeting, comma, Councillor Black will send out a request.
Okay.
Question. Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Councillor, will you initial that amendment as well, please, Councillor Black?
Can I borrow a pen, please? Thank you. Otherwise, the minutes are.
Yeah, I'm happy to propose.
So, right, thank you. All in favour? Right, I'll initial that.
So who seconded it?
That's the ones.
And I'll sign these just now. Okay, right. Next item, payment schedules and public participation.
Going to move.
I propose after the public participation, we move up the property manager's agenda items so as he can be released.
Anyone got any objections to that?
No, happy to.
Okay, happy to do so. Okay, public participation had any requests?
No.
No? Okay, right. We want to then talk about the St. Peter's Hall maintenance.
Yes, yeah. It's in maintenance, it's not maintenance I'm discussing, it's fire safety.
Fire and safety.
Yes, I know it was on the agenda as maintenance, it's not maintenance.
No.
This is the fire safety. Okay, so where we were before, the situation we're in now, sorry. The tenant paid for a fire risk assessment, it's been completed, you've received a copy of it. I've gone through it, I've had a meeting with the tenant. By the time I was waiting for 2 or 3 days, by the time I actually got to see him, he had already got companies in and doing some of the, doing a lot of the work, okay? The main issue is there's no fire alarm system, okay? And we need a fire alarm system in there. So that's where it's at. We've got all the other work is being completed or has already been completed at the time of this meeting. Going forwards, he's the responsible person. He will pay for the, obviously the ongoing servicing and and, you know, and getting all his documentation together, because of course he can't do his fire checks and drills if he hasn't got a system in there to start with. So that's where we're at. It was in the budget. It's come in less than initially thought. That's mainly because we've covered things like the emergency lighting already in advance, and there's certain things that we had done. And he's spent probably around about 2,500 on items that he's undertaken or was also on that list. So today it's all about the fire alarm system and getting that installed as soon as possible, please. And then we're compliant. There's a couple of you recall, we did electrical work
Yes, we
there, and we took the most important aspects of the items that needed to be dealt with. We're now going to go in and just finish those last bits off as well. Okay, so
Okay.
that's all, and then we're compliant.
We are fully
And,
compliant.
Yes, it will be. Yeah, fully
Thank you.
compliant.
Important
And
that.
yeah, well, once those other bits are done, we're done. But of course, now it's over to the tenant, the responsible person, for him to then obviously keep everything up to date at his end. And I've got it in writing from him that he's agreed that I would come quarterly visits and go through the books with him.
That's excellent progress. Councillor Chu.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that we've had detailed discussions about this based on detailed analysis by the property manager. So I think we should move just to approve this because we allocated the money. The cost has come in significantly below the money allocated. So we should just move on, I think.
Okay, further questions?
I don't think we should hesitate at anything to do with safety where it's reasonable, and at the end of the day, this is a building that is owned by the Toll Bridge Fund.
Yes.
So we need to ensure compliance, and there are lots of compliance issues, as I said earlier, so thanks again. I'm happy to.
Second. Oh, sorry, you're
I propose that we support the recommendation.
Right, and that we do so as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Unanimous?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, back to the,
Actually, see you tomorrow.
thank you very much. And good progress being made in other STBF properties.
Yeah.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you. Right, moving on, payment schedules and finance reports, section 5. Town Park, we're in a similar situation.
This is
aren't
the
we?
same as the situation, the miscommunication in the office meant that the March schedules were not included, even though they were there to be included. However, the mid-February needs to be approved. We don't need to worry about the end of February. The March schedules have been available for you to view so that any major anomalies could be looked at, but we will need to receive and approve them in May.
Okay, so 5, going through this then, 5A we have approved last time.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, 5A we have not approved because it's mid-February.
Okay, let's just work this out, it's getting a bit confusing.
It's just 5A is the only issue.
Is the only one that we need to approve today, or?
Oh, and yes.
Yeah,
no,
and
5A,
then,
yeah.
and then the budget report update from, any questions, any queries about 5A?
No.
Okay, I propose that we accept them.
Happy to second.
May I have a vote, please? That's unanimous, thank you. The others we cannot do anything with at the moment, because then the only other item is the budget variance report, which I think,
We can, we've got to do 5B and 5C
Yeah.
because
sorry, I just asked. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up as to which ones. Okay, 5B, the bank account reconciliation. Any issues? Right, I propose that we accept them. Can I have a
Second.
Second, Councillor Green. Unanimous, thank you. And 5C, which is the cash book statement. Any queries about the cash book statement? No. And I propose we accept that as well. Councillor?
Yes, why are we lending money to the tennis club?
Yeah, right, I didn't notice that.
That's a long-standing item. That was one that was, this is the repayment from them, isn't it?
I think it's the last payment.
It's the last payment. The money was loaned to them a good few years ago, and this has been a repayment.
They were loaned £10,000.
£10,000.
So this is part of our income?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yes, the way that the council laid out at the moment.
Oh, right to the top, right to the top,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
No, this appears fairly regularly, Councillor Anderson.
Start.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw it, I thought, what on earth is this? This is a repayment
Repayment.
for a loan.
To us.
Pardon?
From them to us.
From them.
From you to me, from me to you. Chuckle brothers. I believe the loan is actually repaid in full.
I believe it is now.
Yes.
This was the
I
final
did
payment.
question it a few months ago.
Okay, okay.
Okay, does that satisfy the question? No, it's the first time I saw it, I thought,
wonder.
the first time I thought, what on earth is this? But,
Yes.
okay. Right, are there any other questions about fighting? I move that we accept them. Can I have a second, please? Councillor Tucker? That is unanimous. Now, 5D we have done, have we not?
No,
No, so that's another one we still. Right, 5D, which is the budget variance report.
Mhm.
Any issues there? I think we have a very useful summary by the RFO on the variance report commentary, which I think is probably the easiest way to read this. That, of course, shows that there is this 45k due to be transferred to the museum, and 46k due to be transferred to the museum, and 45 is overdue transferred to the Guildhall.
Yeah, and just on the document that we've approved, there's some £208,000 cash in the bank. Okay, just to note.
So, are we proposing that we don't do the drawdown request submitted?
We're not on that yet.
We're not on that yet.
So we're reviewing this cash book at the moment, so if we do that, we can then talk about the
I thought
draw.
we've done the cash book.
We
We're
have.
on to the budget.
Sorry,
No,
sorry,
budget
the
variance.
budget
5D,
comparison.
we're on 5D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
budget comparison.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So, are we accepting this drawdown request? Or are we?
That's a separate report.
No, it's in
No, it's all part
the
of
variance
the-
report
One
commentary, sorry to disagree, but it's the variance report commentary. It's not a separate report. There is a separate one, which is, there's two documents which actually relate to drawdown. The first one is the RFO's commentary on the budget variance.
Which I'm looking at.
Yeah, and then the next one, which is the investment drawdown.
Yes.
And
That is from last month. It's the
Yes.
report he submitted last month.
Right. Let's have a look at the agenda.
simple, really. No,
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, you're looking here at variances of 90 or £100,000. And there are a couple of £100,000 in the bank. Why we need to draw down 35,000 when the variances are 90,000. We're doing it for, or the request is for budgetary purposes, not actually for cash demand
not for
purposes.
cash flow.
And this is something about the income, and all sets of accounts have varying levels of income. We may not get as much income from the markets, or we've certainly not got as much income in terms of the Guildhall itself that we were expecting. So the fact that it doesn't get £35,000 because it's a bad time to sell up items in our share portfolio just to balance the budget, when the bank is cash rich. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't support drawing down monies at this stage.
And the other views?
So, I'm going to be pedantic again. If we look at the agenda, we're not being asked to approve a drawdown. So, even though it's suggested within the paperwork, it's not the request that we've been asked to do on the agenda. So that's point number one. Point number two, this is a complete circle we've gone around. What would have been helpful tonight was to have a clear explanation, because as my understanding is the finance officer is very clear about why he thinks he needs a drawdown.
Yes.
But there is nothing here apart from what was submitted last month. That doesn't help the conversation, because your position is exactly the same as it was last month. So at the moment, I feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place, in the sense that I don't know which way we should be jumping on this, because the finance officer, who we should trust, is very clear that he does want to draw it down, but he hasn't supported it, I think, with any greater detail for this.
No, I think his comment last time was, well, what's the point of having a budget if we then
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
follow it?
So that was the yes, that was the short-term reaction, should we say?
Yeah. So,
So we're not being asked tonight, albeit it's in the detail, in terms of the agenda. So we should not jump and make a decision that's not been asked for, in my view.
well, so please review the drawdown under the variance report. It says, please review the drawdown request resubmitted to allow the budgeted obligations to be met. It is there. It's quite specifically in the papers.
But not in the agenda.
Pardon?
But not in the agenda. We've just been asked to receive and approve the budget variance report. So I'm just, you know, just.
I think we're going round and round in
Yeah.
circles in this,
Yeah.
this thing. We need to break the circle, one way or the other.
But can I just reiterate, just to be clear, his paper here is saying the budget variance shows that 46k is due to be transferred to the museum and 45k is overdue. That's 91k. So what drawing down 35,300 will do, it's, you know, that there's still all of these other variance monies that could be done, and as I say, it's cash rich. So as the mayor says, there's not a compelling case for this in my mind.
I think the RFO thinks that we will not have a balanced budget at the end of the year, which is what we.
I'm supposed to do.
Well, it can always be treated as an accrual and brought back when the war's over and
I'm
stuff
afraid I
like
don't understand. That's what he said. He said
accrual is money due but not received.
at the end of the year, we will not have a balanced budget. We will not be able to present a balanced budget in our accounts, and that is not great for the STBF.
And at which point does that drawbridge get pulled up?
I think it has already. I mean, you know, I'm not sure. This, I'm afraid, is a bit beyond me in terms of.
And that's my point. I was going to say what I would prefer to see is that both Councillor Black and Councillor Green meet with the finance officer at the earliest opportunity and conclude a clear view on this that enables us to have a proper brief for the next meeting. But if that's not going to be feasible, then I don't feel briefed here in terms of a view and another view.
Okay, so we could take it to STC on the 27th because.
Not for STBF, you can't.
No, of course not.
Yes, because we haven't got an STBF quarter one
Not until June.
until June, which is way beyond the year end.
But again, even it's almost like saying, in terms of what you've just said now, it's like we haven't got any
Additional evidence.
any time at all. But again, that's not pointed out in the brief, and that's the issue I've got. The brief does not help me in terms of
Well,
understanding,
we know when
what's
the year end
critical.
occurs, so we
which is gone.
and this is why he's saying that he wants to transfer within sort of a shorter period of time as possible.
I'm going to pause.
No, absolutely
I'm
possible.
a very little brain, I'm not quite sure. In order to balance the budget, we're talking about transfers between cost centres. Is that what we're doing?
More or less, yeah.
But that is that the same as actually money, as it were? I mean, do we have to sell shares in order to make those transfers between cost centres? If we don't,
No.
and we just have cash available, that seems to me, particularly in current circumstances, that seems to me, I mean, I'm convinced by the argument, we shouldn't be selling shares at this juncture. We need to use what cash is available if it's real money. But I'm not sure whether it is or not, but anyway.
But like I say, he's asking for 91,000 off budget transfers. And in order to make that 91,000 of budget transfers,
We can
he
take
wants
it
to
out
sell
of
£35,300 worth of shares.
That is incomprehensible to me,
Yeah.
and we've got 91,000 cash.
Yeah.
So on paper, we can just move it from the cash to,
Okay.
Okay,
so
That's
that's.
The budget is a balanced budget at the beginning of the year. What happens at the end of the year is not about balancing the budget. It could, the outturn of the budget could be exceeded or, above or below the balanced budget. It makes no difference. If there's money in the account there that can pay for this, then we don't need to worry about balancing the
okay.
budget at the year end.
Are there any other comments? So I'm going to make a suggestion. Yes.
I'm not an accountant. I can do, this is a little bit beyond my levels, in terms of where we draw down from here to where or whatever. I do know that the RFO was very concerned that he was not happy with the decision that was made at the last meeting. And therefore, I would like the committee to consider going to resolve this issue and thrashing it out with the RFO so that it can be resolved.
I think that is critical. The question then is if we have to come back here in June, well, we
won't know until we've spoken to the
until
RFO.
we've spoken to him. So we've got two separate issues. If this 35k is required we are required to sell shares in a very difficult market, that is one situation. If it is ready cash, we're in a different situation. Now, do we want to run down the portfolio in a very, very depressed market, which may suddenly turn round, or not? So that's one view. The second view is if we have the cash already, then I don't see any problem in moving this across, because that's what we said we wanted to do in the budget. Now, we can't really have an open-ended decision, or can we?
Can we have
Because
a decision?
that's the answer to the question.
Well, we don't have to wait till June, because this is, the money that has been requested to draw down was the pot of money was agreed in the budget, so there is a drawdown component there. So it doesn't have to go to full STBF, because we've already agreed that. So what I'm saying is, can't the two of you speak to the finance officer, and then we reconvene? The next meeting is in May. If you find in that conversation we've got a problem, that it's got to be done in a matter of 2 weeks, then we should convene as a group, because that's what we should do for 20 minutes to review it.
As an
But
EG
you are the two
extraordinary
people that are best placed to resolve that.
So we would need to reconvene as an extraordinary meeting then.
As a committee,
I don't see why we can't agree to support the decision of the chair of the STBF and the two councillors.
Exactly, that's the point I'm trying to make.
You can also, agree in advance, subject to the discussion, to authorise.
Because
Because otherwise we lose time.
the argument is, if it seems pointless selling in a very difficult and very volatile market, but if we don't need to sell that, then that's a different argument. Then that's purely an administrative transfer. But partially the issue that we've got a lot of cash swirling around in STC, that is a different issue. I would suggest that if it is selling shares in a very volatile market, perhaps we don't need to draw it down. If, on the other hand, it is sums that we already have, we transfer it, and that's where, because that's what we set out to do in the original budget. Now, if you are content as a committee to, for the two of us to speak to the RFO as a matter of urgency and get a clear view and get his clear view and write to you, are you content that you leave that final decision to me as the chair? That's the question.
I would support that. I mean, I think our red line is that we don't sell shares, if I understand correctly, or at least that decision would need to come back to the committee. If we don't need to sell shares, it's my understanding, the people just are happy for this to be sorted out between you and the
Well,
other
I think
fellow.
it says request the drawdown of investment funds, therefore that indicates he wants authority to contact the fund managers.
Yes.
Okay, so let us get that confirmed. We're still in a little bit of uncertainty as to exactly what he wants. If we take, as you say, if you say it's a red line about selling shares at the moment, that decision is clear. If it is not that, then we should follow what we originally set out to do in the budget. Are we looking for the legal advice now, Town Clerk? Are we able to put that sort of a proposal to this committee and leave it to
Yes,
myself?
particularly if it's
Yeah.
not selling shares, that's fine.
So
If it's not what?
If it's not drawing down
if
from
it's not
shares,
drawing
if you're
down,
moving money
Yeah.
around, then it's fine.
so Councillor Tucker.
I'm just trying to think, because it's two sides of the coin. So wouldn't the best situation be that you would say as a committee that you would not accept the finance officer's proposal to draw it down? And if through you meeting with him urgently, you find out it has to be done, then we would need to come back and agree to that.
That seems an awfully bureaucratic and slow way of doing
Yes,
things.
so everything has to be governed correctly,
I
so.
understand that, and that's why I've asked the question. Is it acceptable for this committee to approve that we have two courses of action depending on the advice we receive?
It is the course of action that's been proposed by the RFO, so
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my point. So one side of the coin is that we support his request and that you meet with him and it doesn't get pursued.
Yeah.
The second one is that you don't agree it tonight and you meet with him and you realise it has to be done. And then either way, the question is which of those, if either or both, has to come back to a meeting.
Councillor Anderson.
Can we not, as a committee, delegate two of our members
Well,
to do that, to
Chair
make a decision?
and I'm the chair of STC
Hopefully
Finance.
develop a consensus with the RFO.
yes, I
Well,
don't see why we can't authorise that as
No.
a committee in advance.
I'd be happy to move it.
So I think then we need a second step if that's the case, because then I think that would need to be validated before that happens. So I don't want us to go away and thinking that I don't see why we shouldn't be able to do that is actually not true.
Right.
Because actually we're talking about his selling shares from the charity. And so it's a big step.
Well, it's a routine step. It's maybe a big step.
It's a step that's been already budgeted and approved in
Yeah.
the budget.
Okay,
Well, I would say, picking up on Councillor Wild's point,
You could
That-
have,
sorry.
apologies.
that the Guildhall hire charges were budgeted at nearly 57,000 for this year. We've only received just under 51,000.
Mhm.
So there's a £6,000 deficit against the budget.
Mm.
Shall we go to the Guildhall hirers and say, can you give us another 6,000,
I think-
please? No, I'm sorry, but that's tantamount to what we're talking about.
No, I disagree. This is something that has happened regularly, and it was very clearly budgeted as a large, significant sum. I think that what we need to do is you either say we will go and speak to the RFO, and you leave the decision up to us. If you folks feel that that is not the right way to do it, then we'll arrange now to reconvene a meeting to get this sorted, because I'm not going around this circle again.
Can I put up a motion that we do delegate you and councillor Breen?
I would be happy with
I
that.
don't see why it can't be done, given that it is a budgeted and agreed
Exactly.
expenditure already in the budget. So we've already, you could argue it's like, it's in the budget, and then this is actually him asking for permission to release the funds.
Cheers.
So therefore, because it's in the budget already, we can say, yeah. I mean, you
Except
can
for it's
argue
been
it,
cha-
you
it's
can,
been-
you can,
It's been
Split it
challenged by Councillor Green that we shouldn't, and there is
You can
a
split it
supportive
either
view
way.
of that. So I think we have to agree to the drawdown, subject to the clearance by we can delegate down that authority to clear that with the finance officer. I
or
think that's,
not,
or not.
Yeah.
But we should approve here that the drawdown should happen. If we don't approve it here, then that
can't
should
happen.
have to come back.
Well, okay, then the proposal is that we approve this drawdown, subject to confirmation between myself as chair. I'm happy to propose councillor Green, but if someone else wants to join us, I don't have a problem with that.
I do have an extra thing to say. Given what's happening to the stock market at the moment, it is a question of timing, and I do think we should take advice from Harris all day or whatever. Because is this something that could be delayed if they think it's possible that Trump might come to his senses or something? And that the stock market might go up again, and that the timing would be better, say, in a couple of months' time. Is that possible? I don't know.
Well, the trouble is, it goes up and down daily.
I
It
know it
depends.
does, I know.
I mean, the Far East just decides to listen to Trump's latest thing.
I know, it's all totally unpredictable, but is this something that has any flexibility?
Councillor Anderson, I think all of these things can have flexibility in terms of when we do it, but it has to, we have to, if we want to have any flexibility of movement, we have to move to approve the drawdown in order, because we can always, the RFO and Councillor Breen and Councillor Black can say, okay, we thought about this, we've had a three-way chat, let's cut this cake a different way. But if the cake has to be cut by drawing down, then we have to have approved that in this meeting. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't think this is
You
about
see-
last year's budget, this is about enabling the budget to come to its end of its life and
Yeah.
then be presented as it
Yes.
legally has to be.
Exactly.
But I'm back to my earlier point, I think the lack of a briefing that explained why we needed to only go one
That was
track.
fair.
was- yeah.
That is a fair comment, and we can add that as a rider that in future we would like a little bit more detail.
Just resubmitting it.
And if we're in a similar situation, we would ask the RFO, if possible, to attend the meeting, and if necessary, switch them around to do STBF first.
Yeah.
Okay, right, so the proposal is that we approve, Councillor Wiles, Councillor Anderson?
We're looking at the stock market here.
I've just been,
I-
I've just been naughty in class.
No.
We're not.
No. Right, the proposal is that we approve this drawdown.
Yes. So-
Councillor Breen and myself will have a meeting, an urgent meeting with the RFO to ascertain if this needs the sale of shares or not. Implication is it may do. If it does so, then we have to look at another way of doing this. We should not be selling shares when the market is so volatile. Is that?
Yeah,
what
to-
we're?
Establish the need for the drawdown,
I think
drawdown of funds and avoiding selling shares should
Unnecessary,
be
yeah.
the first principle, should be.
So I think what we're doing is we're agreeing to the drawdown that's been requested by the finance officer, subject to the opportunity to realise from existing cash that's held within the charity not being an appropriate route to follow. So I think that's what we have to do is remove the challenge and then do the drawdown. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. No, in other words, we if we can do it by other means, we do not sell.
Yeah.
Okay, is that something that, well, we will need to vote on
And we have
that
delegated that
to
authority to yourselves.
Okay, that's my proposal. Do I have a seconder?
Yes.
Thank you. Do I have a vote, please? That's unanimous. Just like you said. Back to the agenda, the quantitative report. Are there any questions about the quantitative report, noting that their annual rate of return at the moment, the way they have described it, is it 11 point something?
Yep.
Right. Are there any questions about that? Now, bear in mind that we've had 2 documents issued by the RFO in the past 5 months about Quadrichidia's performance, which is more reassuring than we originally thought. Plus, those of us who were able to attend a meeting with Quadrichidia. So, I would like to propose, in addition to this, that can we reissue their presentation to all councillors, the Quadrichidia presentation that they did?
I don't have it. So
Presumably John has. I would like that to be issued to all councillors before the annual meeting. Sorry, Councillor Anderson.
I just wanted to make one point, that we do now have a benchmark from the QC charity benchmark. And it still puts our return into
Well, we did ask them,
11.6
Yes.
compared to 15.6. $15.6 is the charity benchmark, and our return is 11.
we didn't get a very we didn't get a very satisfactory response from as to why they're using some of these comparators.
Yes, but they're now, but they weren't, as I remember it, they weren't using this charity benchmark
I'm not sure.
before, and now here it is.
So what is the point that is being made?
That the charity benchmark indicates a return of 15.6%, and we are getting a return of 11.6%.
Mhm.
I don't know that have we been in it for the full year?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Certainly,
And there's a 4% difference, but I mean,
which is quite significant. I mean,
yes,
that's
it is.
that's a good 25%.
Yeah.
In total.
Of the return.
So, well, yes, but make to saying that we should be reviewing this again with Quadrichidia.
Well, we could ask them why there remains a difference.
Okay, we can ask them that. But otherwise, are we accepting this report?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And second, well, so let's vote on that. And also, I would like the presentation issued to all councillors. Yeah, got that. Okay. Can I have I'll propose that we receive the report. Seconder, please. Yeah. Okay. Who seconded? Councillor Miles. Is that unanimous? Thank you. Right. Moving on. I've lost it.
Action.
Here we go. Action log and right. Pardon?
First 2 are not a review for a couple of months.
Yes. Okay, car park management companies, that's for progressing for later on in the year. The 15th of June, we should consider risk profile of investments. That's in progress. Yep. The training for yourself, which is still in here, but that's a legacy, because technically it should be under STC.
Yeah, it's going to get jiggles in the end of the year.
Yeah, but that's a legacy there. You've started that, you gave us a report to the Human Resources Committee, which is that you're making significant progress in that area. Okay. Hard to see the budget variance of the draw right. Okay, so this is just what we've been talking about. It seems to be a point that we need to have information presented in much more user-friendly way. Is that a best way to describe it?
It's close.
Okay. You were going to We've challenged that, yes. And I also sent out a question we submitted for the Court of Chief meeting, so that has been completed.
Yep.
Are we prepared to accept this action log? Proposer, I'll propose. Councillor Wiles, you seconding?
Yeah.
Unanimous, right. St. Peter's Hall maintenance we have discussed. So the last item we have is, unless anyone wants to correct me, the date and time of the next meeting, Wednesday, the 27th of May, after STC F and GP. Okay?
Yep.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, did we say that we wanted to reverse the finance and the
If necessary,
FGP meeting just to suit the
only if necessary.
RFO?
Only if we need to
Only
invite
if we
it.
need to.
Okay.